So here we are with Ohm, our first of the Generation 2 cars. This car was involved in the worst fire that we had, which really wasn't very eventful. This entire section of the battery pack, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells were completely engulfed, and a couple of others in this second section were involved as well. I was driving the car at Watkins Glen during a practice session, and we were running at very, very high amperage. We're running about 35–40% over our normal output, which puts tremendous stress on the batteries. And we were doing what we do, we test. And I was down in the boot, which is about 1.5 miles away from pit lane, and I noticed something didn't smell quite right. And I also noticed that my right-hand bulkhead inside of the car here was starting to get warm. So I figured it was time to get off track and find out what was going on. So I completed the lap I was on, came in, drove through the pit lane, through the paddock, and went to my own paddock, at which point I was able to detect some fire. It's just sneaking out around the bodywork seams. And we lifted the bodywork off. We extinguished the flames with about 3 gallons of water. And we're very pleased with our ability to contain it. We were pleased with the car's response. Even though we had bad batteries, we were still able to function, to continue, to get to a safe place. And that's something that we've been very pleased about. If we lose a cell, it doesn't kill the pack and it doesn't kill our session. So, we just went out and we were trying to decide whether it's going to be kill mode or party mode. It appears that it's kill mode. So if you get in here close, you'll see what happens when you overstress a cell, and we obviously overstressed them. I drove it into the pits. It was flaming. This cover was on fire, and obviously these cells were, the plastic in the cells was going, they were venting. It took me 2.5 gallons of water to extinguish it. The ability to get the bodywork off was paramount, and further, you look over here and down the side, you'll see some blistering in the paint and some significant cracking. That was where the bulk of the flames were, and that was a situation where it was so hot, it was too hot to touch. Paint was bubbling, it was brown, and that was simply a matter of, we knew we had a fire. We were able to get the car parked into the side of the road, but it took us so long to get the bodywork off that we had body damage. So, you know, we were fortunate in this case. It wasn't that dramatic, but at the same time, you know, left for another minute or 2 minutes trying to get that body off, it would have been a problem. So, apropos of abuse and excessive use, if you look here, you'll see the little red disc here. That is the vent. It's a little rubber disc. This is a battery. This was actually part of this cluster here. There were 9 batteries involved in this fire. This one is actually still a viable battery, but you'll see it blew out the vent here. We are pretty well convinced that this is the battery that started the fire, but it could have been any one of these 3. The bulk of the fire is the battery cases burning. When the chemical reaction inside gets out of control, the venting comes out. The venting is 300 to 400 degrees, so it's pretty hot. And that's at the surface, so we don't really know what the internal temperatures are, but they start to melt the battery cases. Once the battery cases catch on fire, then you have a fire to deal with. To my knowledge, and to all the research and experience that I can find out in the world, lithium ferrous phosphate batteries do not burn in and of itself. The chemistry just vents. Obviously, it's a hot reaction, so when that happens, you know, something around it, i.e. the plastic case, the bodywork of the car, the leaves on the ground, could become engulfed in a fire, but the battery chemistry itself does not appear to be capable of being ignited. But a lithium ion or a pouch pack, as would be in your cell phone or your car or the cameras that you're taking these pictures with, or even something like this, You know, we've all been using them, we all use them in our daily lives, but we don't think about what's gonna happen when when they catch on fire. So for us as a race team, we have to figure out all the things that are gonna happen when we crash, when we set them on fire. And truthfully, this was a pretty long period of time from initial ignition. We estimate there was about 8 to 10 minutes where this reaction was happening. This is what happened at the end of it all. We put it out with 3 gallons of water, and we're really happy with that. And now all of our focus is on access to the battery pack to prevent it from getting this far along, rather than trying to do anything with the chemistry or the hardware to make that better.